Good morning. There, the green light. Welcome to this June 24th meeting of the Lewis and Clark County Commission. We usually start these little meetings out with a Pledge of Allegiance. Seems like the thing to do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, let's see. I've got to follow the procedure. Otherwise, I might get fired. So, I will introduce my friend who actually showed up today, Tom Rolfe, Commissioner Extraordinary. You'll notice we have one empty chair. And to his left is Brandy Spangler, who will keeps us in line and on track and takes notes. Commissioner Andy Hunthausen is going to miss out on this fun today. I think he's doing something with his family. And to my right is Nico Hash, the county attorney's civil attorney. So nice to see you. And then, of course, our friend Roger Balls, who is the CAO. CAO. Tell me again.
Chief Administrative Officer.
It's the C that throws me off. I can always come up with things to fill in there that I know. That's not right. Chief Administrative Officer. Okay. There is a sign-in sheet and an agenda right up there on that little table beyond our fence. And I hope you will sign in and get control of, or just give us the information. So if we want to talk to you about something later, we could. And first up today is the consent action items as presented by Mr. Roger Balls, our CAO.
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioner Rolfe. The first item is item 2A, agreement renewal between Lewis and Clark County and Helena Television Coalition. Staff recommends approval of that item. Next, we have item 2B, which is resolution 2025-45, ordering a refund of taxes, fees, assessments paid by Stephen and Lori A. Wietecki in the amount of $14.53. Staff recommends approval, and with my apologies if I don't pronounce these names correctly. The next item is item 2C, resolution 2025-46, ordering a refund of taxes, fees, assessments paid by R&D Partners in the amount of $27,395.44. And the last item, Commissioners, for you today is item 2D on the agenda. It's a records disposal request, and staff recommends approval of that item as well. Commissioners, those are all the consent action items. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Any questions from the Commission?
None here.
Okay, and is there any public comment on any of these matters? Seeing none, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve consent action items 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D as presented by Mr. Balls.
Second. Is there any further comment? Nope. We've, and just so our friends out in the public understand, these consent action items we have looked at thoroughly before the meeting, and they are, we're not seeing any flaming issues coming up. So we're not doing this without thought and prior work on this. So it has been moved and seconded that we approve consent action items 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D as presented by Roger Balls. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. And I think we're done with that one, okay? Mm-hmm. Next up is resolution 2025-47, ordering the cancellation of personal property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. This was supposed to be presented by Karie Frydenlund, but I understand she has she's ill. So we get the boss. Hi, Amy.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Today I'm going to present for Karie Frydenlund. She is out sick today. Before you this morning is a resolution requesting the cancellation of personal property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more under Section 15-16-701-2A. MCA states, at the time the list is prepared as provided in Section 1A, the county treasurer shall prepare and submit to the Board of County Commissioners a list of real estate taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. This is a year-end cleanup. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution 2025-47.
I have a question here, Amy, and you and I talked about this a little earlier today, but people out there may be wondering, why in the world would we write off personal property taxes? And I asked you that question, what is this? How special is this? How often do we do it? And could you give us a little more detail on the background of this action?
Yes, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Per state law, this is done once a year to clean up all those old taxes that basically no one has taken ownership to pay on, and also no one wants to take ownership to take over that property. So this is basically, it's kind of, in a way, not necessarily abandoned, but as for the property tax side of it, it's basically unclaimed and no one wants to deal with it. This is, at times, it may be a business that went out. I'm not sure. Our supervisor is the one who's more of a specialist in this area. Being personal property taxes, it would be more related to businesses or something very similar that would be considered not real estate. I know that there's some mobile home stuff in here. Our personal property tax do include mobile homes. So they could be an abandoned mobile home or maybe one that has been destroyed but no one's ever reported also.
Okay, and we do this every year?
We do every year as a cleanup. I believe last year they skipped it just because we had a lot of other things that were going on in the office and didn't get all the stuff done in time due to the additional property tax bills that were mailed out. But normally we would do this every single year, and so do the other counties in Montana.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Tom, do you have any questions for Amy?
No, I think it explained well, and it's something we do like annually, so you bet.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this matter? Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve Resolution 2025-47, ordering the cancellation of personal property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more, as explained by our treasurer.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve this, this resolution as presented by our clerk and recorder, head of elections, treasurer, yeah, all those things. Is any further comment, Tom? Okay, then. All in favor of approving the resolution ordering the cancellation of personal property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Karie. Thank you. Too bad Karie can't be here. I hope she gets feeling better. Action item 3B, Resolution 2025-48, ordering the cancellation of real property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. Amy, would you kind of give us a little explanation of this?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, before you this morning is a resolution requesting the cancellation of real estate taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. Montana Code 15-16-701-2A states that at the time of the list is prepared, as provided in subsection 1A, the county treasurer shall prepare and submit to the Board of County Commissioners a list of real estate taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. This is the year-end cleanup. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution 2025-48.
Is there any question from the commission?
No?
Is there any public comment on this matter?
Madam Chair, if you don't mind, if I could just state for the record, the
Certainly.
real estate taxes are a little bit different than the personal property taxes. Some of these are like abandoned alleys, just little sections of land that nobody really wants, more of an easement, so they don't want to pay the taxes on it, they don't want to claim it. Again, it's something that's nobody wants to take ownership of, the county doesn't want to take ownership of, and it's still part of their property, but a part that they don't want, which is usually why we end up having to write these off. Unfortunately, there's not a good mechanism for us to get rid of those tax bills. They still exist on those, 10-foot easements and things like that.
Conjures up opportunities for, is it malfeasance? You could, well, anyway, not that anybody would want to get out of paying their taxes. Okay, so we asked you for your comment. Is there any public comment? I did that already. So, Tom, we need a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve Resolution 2025-48, ordering cancellation of real property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more, as explained by Amy Reeves.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-48, ordering the cancellation of real property taxes that have been delinquent for 5 years or more. Is there any further comment?
Again, this is, if I might,
Yes,
Chair
please
Payne,
do.
this is a routine thing that we do yearly, and it's a clerical thing just that needs to be taken care of.
It's important to keep our records cleaned up.
You bet.
Thank you, Tom. And I already did, okay. Let's have a vote here. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-48 as presented by Amy Reeves, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item 3C, Resolution 2025-39, establishing the Lewis and Clark County landfill fee rates beginning July 1st, 2025, as presented by Ms. Zackrell.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe. For the record, I'm Audra Zackrell, Assistant Director of Public Works. On June 3rd, 2025, Resolution 2025-33, intent to establish the Lewis and Clark landfill fee rates beginning July 1st, 2025, was passed to change and update the landfill rates. The Scratch Gravel Solid Waste Board voted to approve the rate changes on April 10th. Legal ads appeared in the Helena Independent Record on June 7th and June 14th, and written public comments were accepted until 4 p.m. yesterday, June 23rd, at the Lewis and Clark Clerk and Recorder's Office. The following changes are proposed, with the remaining fees staying the same. The first change is decreasing the municipal solid waste tipping fee from $24 to $22 per ton. The second change is adding plus tipping to the $25 per animal fee for dead animals. Today is the time scheduled for the public hearing. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution 2025-39 to change the landfill rates beginning July 1st and open the comment period. Are there any questions?
Audra, you and I had a conversation about a question, and it isn't about the bones of the agreement. It's about the language in the resolution, and in the resolution, it specifically states that this serves the scratch gravel solid waste and there's several specific things that it involves, but we have recently contracted with Broadwater County, with Augusta. They used to have Republic Services, and they got rid of the waste, so it wasn't part of ours. Now, is this the one, or is it the next? Is this the one I was complaining about, or is it the next resolution? Do you remember?
Chair Payne,
this
the
is-
phone call that I received yesterday was concerning this resolution, yes.
This one, okay. So, it seems to me appropriate that maybe, and this doesn't change the contract, it just changes the language of the resolution to make it a little more accurate, and I would propose, let's see, we should probably do this after the motion, and then we can amend the motion, is that right, Nico? Or,
Chair Payne and Commissioners, I guess one question is if, I'll defer to Ms. Zackel on this, but if you're passing a resolution today, for just opening it up for a 30-day comment period or something like that, if we're passing the resolution today, then Commissioners, what you can do is you can make an amended, you could do a motion to amend the language in the resolution. You could clarify what that amended language is going to be, and then that's something that staff can prepare, and then you can sign that resolution.
sorry, I have to take notes or I'll never remember that. Resolution, okay. And now that I'm looking at this, this specifically refers to the Marysville Solid Waste Subservice Area, the city of Helena, scratch gravel solid waste. Anyway, so, yeah, I was afraid we left a few folks out. So, according to Mr. Hash, we need a resolution. First, no, we need a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve resolution 20.
Chair
I
Payne
forgot
and
the public
Commissioners,
comment.
What's that?
I have to see if there's anybody out there who would like to make a public comment on this matter. I see no public comment. Therefore, let us continue.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve resolution 2025-39, establishing the Lewis and Clark County landfill fee rates beginning July 1st, 2025, as explained by Ms. Zackrell.
I would propose an alternate motion to include, instead of having the specific solid waste service areas, that we add language that is so that it includes such other landfill customers. Roger, could you help me with this language, please?
Chair Payne and Commissioner Rolfe, yes, we had a chance to discuss this, and Ms. Zackrell and Ms. Chambers have done an excellent job to bring it forward. So, again, for your consideration, Commissioner, based on what you've expressed regarding, the question you have, Mr. Hash was helpful enough to provide a proposed sentence that I'll read into the record here. And we're talking about the second whereas of the resolution. And what you could do if you desire to do so would be to have that whereas statement read, whereas the Lewis and Clark County landfill serves customers in areas including but not limited to the Scratch Gravel Solid Waste District, the Marysville Solid Waste Subservice Area, and the city of Helena. That would be one suggested edit you could make, I believe, which might address the question you raised, Commissioner Payne.
I think that is what we need, because we don't want to have this so narrow there may be other customers that come up other than Broadwater County. That was the one, but we also have Augusta, which used to be served by Republic, and Lincoln, and, you know, they're part of our community, but they're now being served by our landfill. So,
Chair Payne?
yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interject.
That's,
If you wouldn't mind, could we just reach out to Ms. Zackrell, though, and make sure, Audra, is there anything about what's being suggested, given your experience with working with these fees for so many years for us, that gives you any concerns?
No.
well, that was easy enough. Thank you, Audra. And so I presented an alternate, an amended motion to include in the
We
second.
don't have a second on the motion to amend
Do I have to
it.
give a second before, I was going to amend it?
Well, I think,
So-
believe you have to second it and then amend it. Is that right?
Nico, give me some direction here. Organized meetings are, you know, I've been doing this for 6 months, but it's still sort of, yes.
Chair Payne and Commissioners, so we had a motion by Commissioner Rolfe.
Yep.
And then instead of a second, Chair
did it.
Payne, you proposed an alternate motion. Normally how we do it is we have a motion and then a second, and then we have a discussion. Based upon the discussion we've had on the record, if the board wants to just proceed forward with an amended motion, that's something that you can do. But in a true formal aspect, how the board operates is you have a motion, there either is a second or a lack of a second, so to speak. But that's kind of how we build it, because right now we kind of have two competing motions on the floor.
All right. Let's back this train up a little bit. So, Tom, you presented us with a motion, and I cheerfully second that motion. So now let's have some discussion. You don't want to discuss this a little bit?
You would like to, I guess I'm not quite sure what you're looking for here.
The language in the resolution as currently provided states that Lewis and Clark County landfill serves the Scratch Gravel Solid Waste District, the Marysville Solid Waste Subservice Area, and the city of Helena. It does not include the folks, you're on that Augusta Solid Waste Board. They're part of, they now haul the solid waste to our landfill here in Lewis and Clark County, as do the people in Lincoln, and Broadwater County. We've got contracts. So that's why I want to, instead of specifying exactly, I would like it to say the customers, including but not limited to, and that gives us some flexibility. And I visited with Audra about this, and she agreed that we need a little more flexibility here to make sure everything's where it needs to be. So, did I make that clear, or am I still?
And procedurally, if I might just ask for clarification, then do we have to sit on it for open it up for public discussion if we make that amendment? I think didn't we have a presentation of our intent first or not?
Chair Payne and Commissioners, so you wouldn't have to necessarily wait to make a decision if you're going to make an amendment onto the language in the second whereas clause. In a technical sense, it's more of an educational whereas clause anyway. That being said, I think it's good to acknowledge that what this is including just about everybody who is a customer of the landfill. So
Just about?
So, Commissioner Rolfe, what you could also do if you wanted to is you could amend your motion to say, approving resolution 2025-39 with the proposed amendments. That's also a way to kind of clarify how we're moving forward today.
Okay. So
And
what specifically, how would you like that second whereas to read? Oh, okay.
Can you read my writing?
Whereas the Lewis and Clark County landfill serves customers including but not limited to the scratch gravel. Okay. I would accept that as a friendly amendment.
Okay. So do I second now? Second.
Second.
Okay. All those, and also a comment. I believe the whereas clauses in a contract are not binding. I mean, they're not binding on the language of the contract. They are merely educational, as you said. So the old lawyer here I just can't quit doing that. It has been, did I ask for public comment?
No.
Okay. Nico says
you did.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, it has been moved and seconded that this commission approve Resolution 2025-39, establishing the Lewis and Clark County landfill fee rates as amended to include customers including but not limited to in the second whereas. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. The motion as amended passes unanimously. Autumn. Next item on our agenda is item 3D, Cooperative Fire Support Agreement between Lewis and Clark County and the State of Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, as presented by Autumn Ashdale. Good morning, Autumn.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioner. I'm Autumn Ashdale, Disaster and Emergency Services Coordinator with Lewis and Clark County Emergency Management.
Autumn, please talk more slowly.
Got it. Today, for your consideration, is the Cooperative Fire Support Agreement with the State of Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. This agreement outlines the procedures for Lewis and Clark County Emergency Management staff to be deployed to incidents and be reimbursed for their time, fringe benefits, equipment rates, and costs associated with their deployment. Through this agreement, emergency management staff have the opportunity to assist incidents, gain incident experience, and results in a financial benefit to the county. In the last year, we have been able to deploy under this agreement 2 times, resulting in over $2,800 in vacancy savings and an additional $2,200 in reimbursement for the use of county vehicles. Staff recommends approval of the Cooperative Fire Support Agreement and all attachments. This agreement is effective June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026, and I'm available for any questions.
Tom, do you have any questions?
No, I think this is pretty self-explanatory about what's here. I think if I understand it right, we're just talking about what we're doing when we help back and forth between these different departments and the people that are working with those departments. So pretty straightforward, I think.
I do have one question on the contract that I'm supposed to sign. The signature line is for LGFF authorized representative. What in the heck does that mean? It doesn't say county commissioner.
So that will be you, Madam Commissioner.
But how do we know that? I mean, is it someplace, is there a definition of LGFF? You know how I feel about acronyms.
So this agreement is typically used for fire departments and other government staff, especially when there are union agreements. So this agreement is unique in that typically when the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation hires on people to work on fire incidents, they're hired as a DNRC employee, almost like as a temporary employee just to work on that fire. Through this agreement, we're able to stay county employees and follow a lot of our county policies while still getting to work on that wildfire incident. So that's why some of the language in the contract, you might find that it's geared more towards fire departments, but it is built for local governments and fire departments. So LGFF, local government firefighting, so that will be, because emergency management falls under the county, so that will be where you will sign as the authorized representative.
You know, Autumn, that really helps a lot. Thank you so much for that explanation.
Absolutely.
Okay, do you have any questions, Tom, other than that?
No.
Let's see, we already went through that. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, shall we have a motion?
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the cooperative fire support agreement between Lewis and Clark County and the State of Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, as explained by Autumn Ashdale.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve this contract. Is there any further comment from the commission?
This is an important document to facilitate working back and forth when we do have fire emergencies, and I appreciate the staff working on this to get it all handled. So, thank you.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded that we approve this contract with the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Next on our agenda. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
Contract between Lewis and Clark County and Tyler Technologies, Inc. Go for it.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioner. My name, for the record, is Kelly McBride. I'm the Director of your Department of Criminal Justice Services. Also with me today is Jessica McDonald. She is our Court Services Assistant, and she utilizes this Tyler Technologies data system quite extensively. So I thought she would be good to have in the room with us. So before you is a contract between Lewis and Clark County and Tyler Technologies for client success management and consulting. In February of 2024, the county contracted with Tyler Technologies to implement a Department of Criminal Justice Services, or CJS, case management and data management system. The contract before you today will augment the existing contract with individualized client support to include one-on-one and in-person assistance in navigating the data system, requesting specialized reports, and answering questions. This Client Success Management and Consulting Agreement will provide a Client Success Account Manager to deliver CJS with ongoing issues management, client support, account management activities, and communication, while also acting as a liaison between CJS and Tyler. The Tyler data system has centralized and streamlined data collection of CJS administered programs, including your pretrial services, post-adjudication supervision services, detention center-based behavioral health services, and will be used with all new programs developed by or administered through the department. The annual cost of this client success management and consulting contract is $9,000 and will be in effect through February 28th of 2027 and has been budgeted by the department. We request approval of the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Tyler Technologies for a client success management and consulting. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions, John?
Yes,
or
if I
comment?
might.
Go for it.
Just to clarify, this is part of the proposed budget for 25, 26?
It is. I included this $9,000 in the fiscal year 26 budget. That was part of my proposal, yes.
All right. And so there's nothing new as far as money goes. Thank you very much.
I just have a little question. Several years ago, our voters passed, they approved money to be spent on the pretrial services to help keep people out of our jail so they can be out working, so they can pay their fines. Could you go into a little explanation of how that works and how this is part of that approval? This is not something we just conjured up.
Oh, correct. So, yes, in 2017, the voters approved a levy that looked at diverting individuals from our detention center, as well as ensuring that those with mental health needs, that those mental health needs were met in the detention center and also out in the community. So really looking at those two things. But you can't do all of that without also measuring, and you can't measure without data. So as we have implemented our pretrial services program, we have relied on the state of Montana to provide us with a lot of our data. It is showing really good numbers. The state data shows that we have about a 95% success rate for folks. So if somebody is on pretrial services, it means that they were charged with a crime. They were arrested. They were booked into the detention center. And then the judge said they were assigned to pretrial services while they're waiting for their trial. That trial in Lewis and Clark County takes at least 9 months. So they could sit in the jail for 9 months, or they could pay, if they have access to funds, a cash bond and get out. Or better yet, they're assigned to pretrial services. And our officers work with them, make sure that they get text messages so they get to all of their court dates, make sure that they're working, that they have housing, that they have all those things that they need to be successful in our community and make it to their court dates. So we have them for about 9 months. And again, 95% of the folks on our caseload are making it to all their court dates and are not being arrested on a new charge. So we've got some good numbers. But we have more to show. We have more programs as well that we really want to make sure that we're providing that data to the community so that they know that their money is being used thoughtfully and wisely. In addition to all of the grants that we have federal grants, state grants that augment the work that we do as well. Was that?
Yes,
did I hit on everything? Because I could talk for about an hour.
Well, I don't want you to talk for an hour, but as I recall, in the last legislative session, there was a move to defund this program, and they had second thoughts about it. Is this kind of data really important to make sure that the legislature understands how important this work is?
This data is vital for that very reason. Yes, the state had some data, but we need more data so that we know what we're doing. We need to show that and continue that funding as well. And also ensure that there's opportunities for pretrial services across the state.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Any further comment?
One more thought is to talk briefly about the fact that it's the judge's decision whether or not these people qualify for pretrial services.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Or whether they should be locked up because they're a danger to the rest of society.
Sure. So again, these are individuals who they've been charged with a crime. So they are, they're in our jail. If you're arrested today, you will appear before the judge tomorrow morning, or actually tomorrow at 1, if it's justice court. So the judge at that time, one of the things we provide the judge with, it's called a public safety assessment. It is a tool, it's a validated tool, and it just looks at the facts. Has this person ever been found guilty of a crime in the past? How old are they? Very specific things. And it's a number system. A grade is given. The judge gets that, and the judge has the opportunity to look at that, and it helps inform the judge's decision on what those release conditions will be. Will it be released to pretrial services? Will it be released to pretrial services with a cash bond, or will it be a cash bond? In the state of Montana, everybody has a right to that bond. So the judge cannot keep somebody in jail. The judge has to set a cash bond. That cash bond can be something that maybe the individual has difficulty posting and or paying. So then they sit in jail for 9 months. But this tool helps, to your point, what is the risk of this individual not making it to court? What is the risk of this person being arrested on a new charge? And then when the judge assigns them to pretrial services, our officers have that score, and they know best how to work with the individual, how to best supervise them, how to best make sure that they are doing everything they need to do during those 9 months until their court date. But you're absolutely correct. It is always a judge's discretion. We just provide that tool to help.
And if I might follow up?
Yes, Tom?
If a person does a cash bond, goes out on a cash bond, is there somebody from pretrial services following up?
Yes. So if they're assigned to, so what happens in our community is there are times when the judge assigns a cash bond and pretrial services. When that happens, the individual, if they're able to post the cash bond, they post that with a bonds agent. And what that is 10%. So if the bond is $20,000, the individual has to come up with $2,000. They will never see that money again, whether they show up for court or not, whether they do all the things they're supposed to do. They don't ever get that $2,000 back. If the charges are dropped the next day, they don't get that money back. So that's how the bond system works. It's 10%. So they pay that cash bond with the bonds agent, and then they immediately report to pretrial services, which is offered through Lewis and Clark County. Yes.
Are there times when there's a cash bond but no connection with pretrial services?
I am not seeing that. I'm going to look at Jess. Jess said yes, that does happen.
Okay. But pretrial services provides that follow-up and that re-education process to help them be productive in society with a hope of going straight.
So with the cash bond, that's it. There's no skin in the game. There's no assistance provided. There's none of that. With pretrial services, we are, to your point, we're helping that individual, identifying where they might need help. Do they need to get into some sort of substance misuse treatment? Do they need to get connected with Many Rivers Whole Health for some mental health help? Do they need help with keeping their job or getting a job? Do they need help with housing? What is it that they need so that our community is safe, and so that they're contributing members to our community? So that's what our pretrial officers do, is they work with the individuals. That's something that the bonds companies don't do. It's not part of their purview.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Someday I'm going to have to take a course in how this bond works. Other than we have a capitalistic system and people are entitled to come up with ideas on how to make money. So, any further comment from the commission? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I move to approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Tyler Technologies Incorporated as explained by Kelly Goodman McBride.
Second. Is there any further comment for the commission? I think we've been down this road. Okay, let's have a vote. All those in favor of approving the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Tyler Technologies as presented by Kelly Goodwin McBride indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kelly. The next item on our agenda, goodbye, is item 3F, contract between Lewis and Clark County and Data Link Networks as presented by Don Temple.
Good morning, Commissioner Payne, Commissioner Rolfe. My name is Dawn Temple. I'm the Operations and Security Manager for Lewis and Clark County. And today I wanted to visit with you about our Microsoft annual licensing contract. Before you this morning is an agreement to renew our annual Microsoft licensing, which is provided through a Microsoft authorized reseller. The IT department reviewed the available contracts that have been formally solicited at the national level. This year, Data Link Networks provided the lowest cost through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Data Link Networks has been very willing to work with us to ensure that we are able to create the best licensing model for the flexibility needed throughout the organization. Our goal was to find the most cost-effective balance between the annual commitment, which includes a discounted price, and having the flexibility of month-to-month licensing to fit the needs of the seasonal workforce in various departments. This agreement has been determined to be exempt from the county competitive procurement through an existing cooperative purchase agreement and has been reviewed and approved by both county procurement and the county attorney's office. The staff recommends approval of the agreement with the annual cost of $271,379.51 and authorizes the chair to sign. I'm happy to entertain any questions you might have.
Thank you, Don. Do you have any questions, Tom?
Yes, if I might. We had a conversation yesterday, and I was interested in knowing if you've been able to save any money.
Yes.
You gave me an indication that we might save around $25,000 by going through this particular source.
Correct. So with this vendor, because it's a competitive contract, they were willing to discount this a little further than our previous vendor. So it came out to be about a $25,000 savings for this year.
I just want to thank you for the effort for our taxpayers. Anytime we can save a little money on a major purchase like this, I really appreciate staff going the extra mile to try to save the taxpayers money.
Thank you, Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe.
Thank you, Tom. Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Data Link Networks as explained by Don Temple.
Second. Is there any further discussion on this?
No.
You know, this goes a lot faster without Andy here, you know? I digress. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was inappropriate. Okay. It has been moved and seconded that we approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Data Link Networks as presented by Don Temple. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Don. Okay. Now, here's a fun part. Let's see you guys sign that. Item 3G, Resolution 2025-41, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on the U.S. Bank of Helena with a date of issuance between July 1st, 2023, and June 30th, 2024 from the county clerk's office. And you must be Laramie
Rada.
Rada.
Yes. Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioner Rolfe. For the record, my name is Laramie Rada, Accounting Clerk 2 with the Treasurer's Accounting Department. Before you today are 4 resolutions canceling uncalled warrants. Montana Code 7-6-2607 states the Board of County Commissioners must cancel all county warrants that have remained uncalled for 1 or more years. This process is part of our fiscal year-end cleanup adjustments. Please know when canceling these uncashed warrants, the money will be deposited into the county's general fund. Although the warrants will be canceled, the county will continue to be liable for payment on these checks. This means if 3 or even 20 years from now, if someone comes in with one of these checks, staff will research it to ensure that we make good on that payment. The first resolution before you canceling uncashed warrants is 2025-41, canceling uncalled warrants on the county clerk's office for $6,445.72.
I've never seen this before, so I'm, okay. So this, the total amount, there isn't some warrant out there for $6,445.72
No, it's multiple checks to multiple people.
as
Yes.
listed on the 4 pages that are attached. Oh, that
Yes.
makes more sense. Okay. Do you have any questions for her, Tom?
No, and I think if I might just say that you explained it well, that if someone comes in and says, hey, I'd like to get paid for whatever it was, I'm guessing that a lot of these were folks' expenses for going on jury duty. They just didn't cash the check or whatever, and you'll go ahead and pay it. It's just that having those checks out there floating around, we might, after a year or better, going to cancel those, and then if people come in and ask for it, we'll get them the money.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Very interesting and a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. So is there any public comment? Seeing none, is there any, let's see, we need to have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve Resolution 2025-41, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on U.S. Bank of Helena with a date of issuance between July 1 of 2023 and June 30th of 2024 from the county clerk's office, as explained by Laramie Rada.
Second. Is there any further comment from? Okay. It has been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-41, canceling the uncalled warrants drawn on U.S. Bank of Helena. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. And thank you. Oh, and you get to do the next one.
Yes.
All right.
The second resolution before you canceling uncashed warrants is 2025-42, canceling uncalled warrants on the District Court Fund number 716 for $70.
So again, the $70 is not a one-time amount. It is.
It is.
Yeah, I think that one is just one check.
This is. 7 resolutions, I see. So there's, I guess I'm looking at the attachments, and it says there's 93 claims.
So the 93 claims is the checks that went with the county clerk's office. So each resolution's gonna have their own attachment of the check still outstanding.
I don't understand where this $70 that you just mentioned, am I looking at the wrong document?
So,
Or is each document for a separate? No, this is. Nico, jump in here.
Yeah, Chair Payne and
Explain
Commissioners, so I don't have them in front of me, but I believe if you look to Resolution 2025-42, speculate and believe, but there should be an attachment in Exhibit A on that resolution.
Resolution 2025-42.
yes.
Was that the number?
Yes.
Okay. There's 41. Okay, I see 42.
And this one, there should be probably just one check.
There
Or,
is
excuse me, not one check, but
one
one,
item, yes, okay. And so this one, agenda item number 3H, is that the one we're on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, proceed. I am kind of playing now on the right page. Okay, Tom, do you have any comments?
No, just, it would appear this is just one check from a separate account. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any public comment? Seeing none, let's have a motion, Tom.
Chair Payne, I move to approve with Resolution 2025-42, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on the U.S. Bank of Helena with a date of issuance between July 1 of 2023 and June 30, 2024 from the Clerk of District Court Fund number 716 pursuant to 7-6-2607 as explained by Laramie Rada.
Second. Well, let's see, any further comment? It has been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-42, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on U.S. Bank of Helena, as explained by Laramie Rada. Rada?
Rita.
Rada, it's long A's. As explained by Laramie Rada. Any further comments?
No.
All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so now we are on agenda item 3J, Resolution 2025-43, canceling uncalled warrants to be explained by our friend.
Chair Payne,
Rada.
Chair Payne, excuse me, I believe that the next item is item I on the
You're right,
agenda.
it is item I, but I did say the right.
I think you might have said J, Commissioner.
Resolution 2025-43.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is I. Okay.
The third resolution before you canceling uncashed warrants is 2025-43, canceling uncalled warrants on the Justice Court account for $2,000, $2,805.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, Chair Payne, it appears it's the same thing, just another account.
Okay. So, let's see, any questions? Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion, Tom.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve Resolution 2025-43, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on the U.S. Bank of Helena with a date of issuance between July 1, 2021 and June 30, 2024 from the Justice Court, as explained by Laramie Rita.
Second. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Okay. Then we'll ask for a vote. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-43 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. And Resolution 2025-44. Ms. Rada?
The fourth resolution before you canceling uncashed warrants is 2025-44, canceling uncalled warrants on the Treasurer's Office Accounting Department for $4,320.65.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
None.
Is there any public, excuse me, is there any public comment? Seeing none, we can have a motion now, please.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve Resolution 2025-44, canceling uncalled warrants drawn on U.S. Bank of Helena with a date of issuance between July 1 of 2023 and June 30, 2024, from the Treasurer's Office Accounting Department, as explained by Laramie Rita.
Second. Is there any further discussion from the commission? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-44, canceling the uncalled warrants as described by Laramie Rita, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Laramie.
Thank you.
Laramie, in the future, would you make sure the number of the resolution is on the front page? That would help me from getting lost. Sorry. Thank you, Laramie. All right, we have come to the portion of our meeting which public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Step forward or forever keep your peace. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.